funding from the state. The governor wants to get rid of that funding.
For school administrators and board members who are in the midst of dealing with severe state budget cutbacks, which could affect the district's music programs, art classes.
The plan does call for the elimination of art and music in the district.
And cutting $8 billion out of our public school funds. This is not acceptable. This is not a good way to show our kids that we are supporting their education.
If you haven't heard about this by now, you must be living under a rock. Hundreds of Boyertown students gathered for the second week in a row to protest the district's proposed budget cuts. Last week, they performed outside and in the hallways of Junior High West before the board meeting, and this week they took it to the streets of Boyertown. They went uptown and then downtown, not letting the rain or the wind keep them down. At one point, the march stretched across 3 blocks, students, parents, and teachers holding up signs or shouting in support of their favorite endangered electives. And they sure got noticed. This is after talks of cutting or severely reducing many programs in the music, art, and tech ed departments, among others, because of state budget cuts. The board is now leaning towards what they're calling Scenario 3, which involves teacher and administration pay freezes and a small tax increase. Full information of the possible scenarios and notes from the meetings are available on the district's website. No matter what the outcome, it's clear that the community won't let go of what they love without a fight.
The governor wants to get rid of that funding. So what did the folks here do? Well, they took their show on the road.
Trying to save the arts.
Students from Wade Hampton High and the Fine Arts Center grabbed center stage inside the State House.
I've been involved in the arts since I was 5 years old. It's always been the biggest part of my life, and to lose it would just be horrible.
They question their future in a state that does not support the arts.
It means that the people don't care. Because art is an everyday life. You need art to go through life, through every day. Your car was made from an artist. Buildings are made from architects, which I consider an art. I mean, it's that they don't care about you or life in general.
Several hundred supporters of the arts greeted lawmakers today as they entered the Capitol. Supporters of the arts say it reaches beyond their industry into the everyday economy. A USC study found creative industries pump roughly $9.2 billion into South Carolina's economy, as well as create 78,000 jobs.
Because people understood, even though they hadn't done the scientific research back then, we have done now, that children who learn music actually do better in math. Kids whose imaginations are sparked by the arts are more engaged in school. So these things aren't just extras, they are part of a well-rounded education.
The arts being cut completely would just be terrible. It's important to keep the arts in school because they bring something that math and science and English can't. There's another side to school that isn't just strictly academic, and for somebody that took arts classes for a majority of the time at Berkeley High, I really feel like it was a substantial part of my experience here and definitely a driving force in me coming every day.
My personal experience with music education has been amazing. I first picked up a violin over 13 years ago, and it's been a huge part of my life ever since. It's led me to play other instruments, become more involved. I can definitely see the benefits of having a music education working in my life, and all of my, most of my good qualities I attribute to having because I had a music education my determination, my work ethic, it definitely makes you more disciplined, and I think it's really important, and I'm glad that I was able to have that while I was in school.